Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Abhramam Bhangarahitam, Ajadam Vimalam Sada, Anandatirthamatulam, Bhaje Tapatrayapaham, Tapaswadhyaya Shushrusha, Krishna Puja Ratam Munim, Vishveshatirtha Vande Parivrad Chakravartinam. Today, I thought I will give this lecture on Lopamudra and Agastya Samvada because it is so fascinating and much misinterpreted by many scholars, many commentators and translators alike. So it is our intention to remove this kind of misconception or misunderstanding about all these great rishis. So I thought I will give this lecture today. So everybody, many of you have come here. I welcome all of you, and I will start my lecture on this Lopamudra and Agastya Samvada. So what is the need of giving? That is also a very interesting point. Our whole Indian literature itself is much maligned and misinterpreted by Western Indologists and their Indian followers. This is my opening sentence. This is true to its letters. Literally, it is true. India has a very long tradition of literature beginning from Vedas, which have no definite time frame. But most of the Vedas are revealed to the rishis 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 years ago. We cannot say exactly, but even modern research has proved that Vedas are much more older than as conceived by Western Indologists. So their point is to understand the things, but in the process of understanding and interpreting many things, deliberately or accidentally, they have committed so many mistakes. So they see whole Indian literature from their own viewpoint, from their experiences, their tradition. So it is a tradition of non-belief. So they are more critical about all these things, whereas they see the insiders like us as believers. So believers don't have critical viewpoint, whereas a person who is seeing it from outside, he has a great scope of understanding things in a new perspective. It is their viewpoint. So it is their viewpoint, and they have interpreted all these Vedas from their own viewpoint. Let it be there. How it is understood by us and how it should be understood by us. It is the point. The Buddhas and many others who don't believe in the authority of Vedas, they have tried to discredit all these texts, but they did not succeed in their efforts because they were doing it from outside. They did not come into the Vedic literature. So that means they did not enter the Vedic literature, to interpret this Vedic literature in their own way. So only they were saying that these Vedas are all imagined by the many authors, so they don't have any authority, they are not correct, etc., etc. They were saying. So Indian people, they thought all these Buddhists, they don't accept Vedas, so let them be so. Don't worry about them. But all the Vedas are Pramana, authority. So this Vedic religion, Vedic Dharma, it was intact, even though many people they have attacked the authority or authenticity of the Vedic tradition, but it was intact. Indian people, they used to believe that there is a much more thing in the Vedas, that we should understand it from all our tradition, all our dharma is derived from these Vedas. So our people, they had much Gaurava Buddhi in these Vedas. But once these Western Indologists, they came into the picture in the 18th century, 19th century, they did not burn the Vedas like others did. They did not destroy all these texts. They did one thing that is very good. They collected all these things and they established many libraries, and they started to interpret. But their interpretation was based on their own way, their own tradition, their own non-belief, etc., etc. So it caused much stress on the Veda, or it created a disbelief about the Vedas in Indian minds. They were successful in creating disbelief about Vedas in Indian minds by their interpretations. They interpreted Vedas in their own way, okay, but the real meaning of the Vedas, it was all written in the Sanskrit language, which was not accessible to the ordinary people. So the ordinary people are now thinking, and they are reading only the uh, whatever that is available in the modern languages, mostly in English, and its translations into any other Indian languages. So most of the Indian people, they are in one or other way, they are all affected by the misinterpretations of these Vedas. So we have to see the real meaning of Vedas. It is purpose. So we want to have many lectures on the different suktas, very intriguing suktas, and also intriguing themes. It is part of our project to understand the Vedas. Why we are going to understand the Vedas? Because we want to understand the Indian culture, Indian tradition, Indian history. Who are we? If we want to understand who are we, then we should study Vedas, we should study Brahmanas, we should study Upanishads, and we should study all other texts, Mahabharata, Ramayana, and all other Puranas. So then we'll get some kind of idea to what our ancestors did, and what they wanted to do, and how they wanted us to live. Then we may find solutions to the problems created by the modern lifestyle and modern theories, modern vicharadharas. Many vicharadharas are there, modern things, modern Charvaka, modern Buddhism. Many things are there. We need not go elaborating them. So understanding the Indian heritage, Indian history, Indian culture, that is most important thing. So we need to study Vedas for that thing. So we need to write new commentaries, new translations based on the Indian tradition rather than the, the methodology of Western people. So it is the basic idea. That's why we are doing it. Many of our people, they are helping us in this process, and we hope we will do it. So now coming to this sukta, it is a sukta about Lopamudra and Agastya. Brief history story of Lopamudra and Agastya is Agastya is a famous scholar, one among the Saptarishis, and he is much revered for his learning, for his tapasya, for his benevolence on the people. And Tamil Nadu people, they are very much attached to the Agastya Rishi. And even our Karnataka Mate, Kaveri itself, Kaveri herself, is another form of this Lopamudra. So Agastya has created this Kaveri from the Lopamudra's bodies. The story goes like that. So it is the story of Agastya, and his wife is Lopamudra. This Agastya, he did not want to marry at the beginning, but all his ancestors insisted that he should marry to rescue them from the Naraka. So he created a girl child by his supernatural power and gave that child to the Vidarbha king. And later on, when she attained youth, he married her. And she was very beautiful lady, very, very beautiful lady. That's why she was called Lopamudra. What is the meaning of Lopamudra? Because her beauty erased the signs of beauty in all other things, in all other creatures, even many living beings like deers, etc., and also in the humans. So mudra means the signs, and the lopa is erasure. So she was erasing the signs of the beauty in all other things. That's why she is called Lopamudra. Lopamudra, Lopamudra, Mudranam Tattan Mrgajati. Mrgajati. So I am not able to see it properly. Chinnhanam मृगजातिगतानाम् असाधारणानां चिह्नानां कमनीय चक्षुष्ट्वानां लोपैव लोपः तिरस्कारः. The Mrigajati, it has got a very beautiful, the deer has got a very beautiful eyes. So its sign of beauty is the eye. So the beauty of Lopamudra was erasing all the beauties of all the signs of these beauties in even in other animals and also in the humans. So lopaiva lopaha tiraskaraha yasyasa. Mudrayaha lopaha mudra lopaha. But it is the mudra is coming last and lopa is coming first. And why Lopamudra? It should be Lopamudra, but it has become Lopamudra Anneshu Pidashyadeti Dirgha. So this is the name of Lopamudra. Agastya is Agamastyayate iti Agastya. He moved the mountain. Agastya, he could move the mountain. That's why he is called Agastya. So this is the story of Lopamudra and Agastya. She was the daughter of Vidarbha king, and this Agastya, he wanted to marry her. So he accepted. Vidarbha king accepted, and Lopamudra came to the hermitage of Agastya. She lived there happily. They had a son called Dradhasyu, who was also very great rishi. It is known with from all the Puranas, etc. We know all these things. Now we go to the next sukta. Next slide. So We know Lopamudra is a wife of Agastya Rishi and very pious, and she was helping this Agastya in his tapasya. And she was also at the onset, we will not be able to understand what is the own stature of Lopamudra. Because in the Rigveda, she is described as the wife of Agastya only. So, but there is a sukta in Rigveda, which is a dialogue of Lopamudra and Agastya. Everybody is thinking their own interpretation, his own interpretation based on this sukta. So, this sukta was brought into light by the modern translations and interpretations. So, most of the material available on the internet that projects Lopamudra as a vocal women's rights activist. You can see, just you see Lopamudra and Agastya, Lopamudra, you will see how she was vocally requesting her rights. So, why she is projected so? Because her dialogue in the Sukta, 179 is the Sukta. This Sukta is much misunderstood and maligned one in the Rigveda. That's why we started with this Sukta. As the newest translator of the Rigveda, Jamison and Brereton, they have mentioned this sutta as the dialogue between Sieg Agastya and his impatiently amorous wife, Lopamudra. What is the meaning of amorous wife? Amorous means she is who has the sexual desire. So it is the dialogue between Agastya and his impatiently. She is not, no more she is able to resist her own desires. So that's why she is asking Agastya for the favor of union. It is interpreted so by the Jamison in her new translation. So they want to interpret this sukta to show that Vedic women were more vocal in their rights, whereas in the later times, in the time of Mahabharata, in the time of Brahmana and all other later literature, they were all subjugated to the lesser grade. So no more they could talk about their own needs and their own desires and their own intentions. So it is the bija of all the root cause of all the misconceptions. You can see internet and all other things where how it is all given. So now we are coming to the Sukta. It is Sukta 171, 179 of first mandala, mantra number 1. Purviraham Sharadaha Shashramana Doshavasto Rushaso Jarayantihi Minati Shriyam Jarimatanunam Apyonupatnihi Vrishano Jagamyuho. Those who are well versed in the Vedic style, they can understand the meaning. But I will quote Jamison, which you can see also her translation. The Lopamudra says here, as per the tradition, it is the speech of Lopamudra. It is the part of Lopamudra in this dialogue. 2 mantras are uttered by Lopamudra first, and then 2 mantras are uttered by Agastya as the answer of Lopamudra's request. So this is the translation given by Jamison. Lopamudra says, for many atoms I have been laboring evening and morning through the aging dawns. Old age diminishes the beauty of bodies. Bullish men should now come to their wives. Purvaihi aham sharadaha shashramanaha many years. Sharat means years. Purvaihi sharatah. Many years I have been laboring. I am doing so many works. Doshavastoho, evening and morning. Ushaso jarayanti, evening and morning, and through the aging dawns, Ushasaha. So the aging dawns, the dawns are also aging. They are coming and going like this. Minati Shriyam Jarima Tanunam. Jarima means the old age. It diminishes the beauty of body. Shriyam, Tanunam Shriyam, Minati. Tanunam, bodies. Shriyam, beauty diminishes. Apyonupatnihi Vrishano Jagamyo. So bullish men, Vrishanaha means Varashaka. The bullish men should now come to their wives. So this is the translation given by Jamison for the first mantra. Second mantra, again, ye chiddhi purvam purva ratasapa asan sakam devebhir avadan ratani te chidavasuh nahyantamapuh samonu patnehi vrishabhi jagamyuh. Ye chiddhi purve ratasapa asan. There were many ancient seers were there. Sakam devebhi avadan ratani. They were all speaking with gods. Now the difficulty comes. Now I read Lopamudra's sentence as interpreted by Jamison. For even those ancients who served truth and yet one with the gods spoke truths. Devebhi anrutan rutani. Devebhi saha rutani avadan. So they spoke truths with gods. Even Techid avasuhu, even they got out of harness. They did not come out of the distress. Nahyantamapuhu. They did not reach the end. So you are also doing such things. You are also doing tapasya. But you are following the ancient rishis. So they did great tapasya, but they did not reach the end. So they were all they had their own wives, their own marital union. So you should also come with me. Wives should now unite with their bullish husbands. It is the second mantra, as interpreted by Jamison. Now we are coming to the third and fourth mantras, which are very important. Now Agastya says, Na mrusha shantam yadavanti deva. Na mrusha shantam. Your effort did not go in vain. Yadavanti devaha. Devas will protect you. Vishwa it spradho abhyashnavama. Will take on all contenders. Spradha, the spardhinaha, contenders. We take on all the contenders. Jayava idatra shatanitham ajam. We will win over the war of 100 stratagems. Yet samyancha mithuna abhyajava. Samyancha mithano abhyajava. We both united. We will drive on. So I read now again Jamison. Agastya says, not in vain is the labor that the gods help. Na amrusha shrantam. Your labor does not go waste. Yadavanti deva. Gods help. Vishwa it spratho abhyashnavava. Let us too take. Dvyochana is there. So let us too take on the all contenders. Vishwa sprathaha. We will take them. So here Agastya is speaking about the contenders. So that is also very important to understand the meaning of this mantra. And Jayava idatra shatanita majam. Now let us too win here the contest of 100 stratagems. There is a Aji is the Yuddha, or you can take it as a contest also. Shatanithamajam, 100 stratagems, which has got hundreds of ways, hundreds of strategies, etc. So we are going to win. Both two of us going to win this contest of 100 stratagems. It is also very important thing to note down. And yet samyancha mithunau abhyajava, when as a united couple we will drive on. So this Mithuna, it suggests that they are going for the marital union. We will drive on. It is the Agastya's sentence. Agastya's first sentence. Then he is going to give one more reply to Lopamudra. Nadasyama rudhatah kama agan ita ajato amutah kutaschit Lopamudra vrishanam nirinati धीरमधीरा धयति श्वसन्तं नदस्य there is a sound for me. Rudhatah kama agan. Kama has come to me. Ita ajatah. Ita ajatah. This is coming from this. Kama is coming from this side. Amutah kutaschit, or from the above side, from the Swarga. Because itaha, iha, amutra. Iha means this loka, and adas means the other loka, the Swarga loka. So kama is coming from this or the other loka. Lopamudra vrushanam nirinati. Lopamudra is, she is vrushanam patim nirinati. It is the sentence of Veda. We will see what is the meaning given by the Jamison. Dhira madhira dhayati shvasantam. So this Agastya is dhira. Lopamudra is adhira. But this adhira she is taking this dhira. It is the meaning of this mantra, overview of the meaning. We will read the Jamison's translation. Agastya says, the lust of a mounting bull. Nadasya marudhatah kama agat. Here, Nadasya may be mounting. Kama is the lust of a mounting bull. And she is suggesting that the lust of mounting bull means waxing reed. It is penis that has to come, that has come to me. Kama agan, ma agan, it is coming to me. It has come to me. Lust arisen from here, from there. Amutah kutaschit. Itaha ajatah, it has come here, it come from here. Amutaha ajatah, from there. Kutaschit, from everywhere, the kama is coming to me. Lopamudra vrushanam nirinati. Lopamudra makes the bullish one float. The steadfast man does the flighty woman suck while he is snorting. So I will leave it to the audience to understand the meaning of these two sentences. The steadfast man means dhira man does the flighty woman. It is not the literal translation given by, because dhira is in the Dvitiya Vibhakti, whereas adhira is in the Prathama Vibhakti. So the flighty woman makes the steadfast man suck something, it should be, but somehow, okay, she has translated it as in that way. Dhayati Shvasantam. While he is snorting. Why he is snorting, etc. Keep all the questions to yourself. We will go to the next two mantras. So next two mantras are more strange, whereas the first four mantras are dialogues between Agastya and Lopamudra. Now, it is somebody else. It is a student of Agastya or Agastya himself. He is saying, Imannu soma mantito hrutsu pītam upabruve yatsīmāgah chakrama tatsu mralatu pulukamohi martyah. Imannu soma mantito hrutsu pītam upabruve. I have drank the soma into my heart. So I proclaim it. And yet seem agas chakrama, yet is different word. Seem is one away. Agaha chakrama, whatever the offense that we have committed, tat sumralatu, let him forgive that. That means the Soma should forgive the problems or offenses that we have committed. Pulukamohi martyah. Man is full of desires. For the many desires, for off many desires is mortal man. Martya is the mortal man. He is off many desires. So Lopamudra requests Agastya to have union. Agastya says, we will do something, whatever you have seen earlier. My lust is coming to me, and all of those things that he has answered. Now he says, I will drink, I have already drunk the Soma, and that Soma I proclaim. So it is left to you to understand, to get the intention of Agastya or whoever student says this sentence. Again, I quote Jamison. This Soma within my heart just drank, because he has already drunk the Soma. The Soma within my heart just drank, do I adjure. So upabruve, I proclaim or something, or I utter slowly or upamshu. Yatsīmāgah chakrama, that is very clear. Whatever offense we have committed, let him forgive that offense. For of many desires is mortal man. So who says this sentence is not very clear. Now Agastya, we are coming to the sixth mantra. Agastya khanamanaha khanitrayehi prajamapatyam balam ichamanaha ubhau varno rishirugraha pupusha satyadevesh vashisho jagama. Agastya is digging with spades. Khanitra is the spade, Gudali in Kannada. So Agastya Khanamanaha Khanitra, he is digging this earth. Why he is digging? Prajamapatyam balamichamanaha. He is seeking offspring, praja, apatya, descendants. Balam, also power. I don't know what bala that he is desiring. With regard to Ubhau Varno Rishihi Ugraha Puposha. With regard to both colors, Varna means it is the colors. So, what colors? Maybe whatever colors, offspring and ascetic power. He wants both of them. He wants children, offspring, and also the ascetic power. We don't know how the two things are of different colors. One offspring and ascetic powers, they have got different colors. So Ubhavarano Rishirugraha Puposha, he is now the mighty seer through, he is thriving, he is nurturing both these two things. One is offspring and another is ascetic power. Then Satya Devesh Vashisho Jagama. he arrived at his hopes, which came true among gods. The gods have given boons to him. All the boons, they have become true. So it is the meaning of this sixth mantra. If we read once more Jamison's translation, Agastya, digging with spades, seeking offspring, descendants, power with regard to both colors, in bracket again, offspring and ascetic power, that mighty save through, he arrives at his hopes, which came true among the gods. So this is the interpretation, translation given by Jamison and many people before Jamison. It may be Wilson, it may be Griffith and Geldner and all other people. Jamison has followed more or less the interpretation given by these people. So I don't know whether you have got the real intention, purport of this sukta. You understood the purport of this sukta or not. That's why Jamison has interpreted this clearly. So we will see what she has. I will read what she has written. This sukta turns on the tension between the ascetic ideal and the responsibility to continue the family lineage. This is, you understand, Agastya is very much stressing, and all his efforts are on his ascetic ideal. He should live as a sannyasi. Ascetic is a sannyasi, so he should live as a ascetic brahmachari or whatever. So there is a ascetic ideal for Agastya, whereas he has the responsibility of continuing the family lineage also. So this sukta is about the tension between the ascetic ideal and the responsibility to continue the family lineage. This is what Jamison says. Lopamudra speaks, again I quote two verses, urging husband to allow them both to cease their ritual labors and have sex. As per Jamison's translation, ritual labors. He is conducting, performing many rituals, yajnas, etc. Or whatever the daily things that he is doing. Okay, now what Agastya says is, in verse 3, he counters her proposal with a vigorous call to renew religious endeavor. That means he has to do so many other religious activities. So he is calling for a numerous battle against a sticky and tricky and numerous enemy. We don't know what enemy he had. As a married couple, both of them, they have to defeat that enemy now. Both, they can defeat that enemy, only they can defeat together. Otherwise, they will not be able to defeat. So the word mithuno is a charged one, because it of course can refer specifically to a sexual pairing. Mithuna is normally about the sexual pairing. So it also referred, according to Jamison, it is referring to specifically to a sexual pairing. And this is what appears to be the rather graphically illustrated in the verse 14, where Agastya succumbs to his lust as Lopamudra engages him in intercourse. The steadfast Dhira man is undone by the flighty woman. Now you got the meaning as per Jamison's interpretation, that somehow she is able to pursue Agastya to have union with her, with the persuasion skill, that she can do it. So Agastya is going to have union with Lopamudra. This is the and she is also suggesting one more thing there. What is that thing is, there was a that the conflict between Agastya and Lopamudra reflects a theological struggle. There must be it is the imagination of guess of Jamison, that this tension, the conflict between this Agastya and Lopamudra, it reflects a theological struggle. What is the theological struggle? It is dimly perceptible beneath the surface of the late Rigveda. The first mandala belongs to the late Rigveda according to the Western interpretation. So it is dimly perceptible, not fully open. The theological struggle, what is this theological struggle is it is the struggle between the innovative theologians who favor introducing the new ritual model involving the sacrifices wife as a partner on the ritual stage. This is one party of the conflict. There were some people, they wanted to introduce wife as a partner on the ritual stage in the sacrifices, the great yajnas. It is one party. So Agastya is suggesting that Agastya is calling Lopamudra to be part of the yajna. By that way, Jamison is guessing that it should be the way. It is one party. What is another party? The other party is always conservative party, who consider, again I read Jamison, who consider it as a dangerous model with potentially disastrous side effects. So when a sacrificer's wife is introduced into the ritual stage, it will lead to the potentially very disastrous side effects. So she should not be entertained in the ritual stage as a partner of yajna. So only Yajamana should be there, and he should be the whole and soul karta dharta of this yajna. So it is one of the guess of Jamison. Now Jamison says Agastya in verse 3 appears to be a spokesman of the innovators, urging an energetic ritual partnership between husband and wife. This is a contextual thing, which we are not very much concerned. This is one way, one interpretation given by Jamison, and there are many other people who have interpreted this Agastya and Lopamudra Samvada in their own way. This is the story that we have seen in the Rigveda, and the story is, as interpreted by Jamison, is found in the Brihad Devata, and Sayanachar is following this Brihad Devata. Jamison is also following the Brihad Devata. But Madhusudan Bopardikar, in his thesis on legends of Agastya, says Rigveda knows nothing of such stories narrated in Brihad Devata and Mahabharata. Rigveda is very older text, so it does not know about the story that is told in the Brihad Devata. The Lopamudra is very desirous of union, and Agastya is replying her, and now we come to the Lawrie Patton. So who is very much vocal, more she is a Lawrie Patton. She has written this Fate of a Female Rishi. So what is the fate of this female Rishi, the Lopamudra? How she is Rishi, that is also very interesting thing that we will see. So her article on the fate of female Rishi, that is where Lawrie Patton has given such interpretation that Lopamudra is openly participatory in sexual negotiation and holder of a sexual power. This is one thing. Yeah, very clear. And women remaining as the advocate of sexuality, standing between the two generations of men for whom sex is a taboo. It is referring to the story of Brahadevata, where there is Agastya and there is his disciple, and she is in between them. Both for Agastya and his disciple, sex is taboo, but she is remaining as the advocate of sexuality. This is in reference to the Brahadevata. Finally, in the Mahabharata, sexuality becomes the means of fulfilling rights and obligations of dharmically oriented Brahmana. So no more she is the vocal where she is in the sexual negotiation in the Rigveda, but in the Mahabharata, her sexuality becomes the means of fulfilling rights and obligations of dharmically oriented man. That is only for the marriage is for the apatya, not for anything. Rights and obligations of dharmically oriented Brahmana. So how the story is transforming itself from Rigveda, where she is Lopamudra is open, very much open. She is openly participatory in the negotiation, and in the Brahadevata, she is in between both of them. And finally, in the Mahabharata, she is totally degraded. So she is not asking all these things there in the Mahabharata story. In Mahabharata, there is a story that Lopamudra had her bath after a monthly period, and Agastya, he wanted to have union with her. So they got the son. This is the story told in Mahabharata. So in Mahabharata, she is not demanding anything. Instead, Agastya is demanding union with her. So she is totally on the backstage in the Mahabharata time. This is one thing. So Lawrie Patton, she says, the woman ceases to become the negotiator of rati or desire in the Mahabharata. She is no more, she is the negotiator for the rati, simply by the means by which the ancestors are freed. Because all the ancestors of Agastya are all in the very difficult situation because Agastya did not marry. Now he has to marry and free them. That is why she has become, she ceases to become the negotiator for rati. So even her role as an epic implicit advocate for the progeny is taken away from her in the epic. This is also no more she is asking for anything. That's why her role is no more. She is not asking for any progeny, whereas Agastya is asking. So these changing roles of Lopamudra raise important questions about representation of gender in Vedic times. This is also pattern in interpretation. Now she says, the later Vedic scholars writing at a time when the maintenance of Brahmanical norms was paramount to clean up the offensively free sexual dialogues in an effort to make them acceptable. So in the Rigveda, it is all old thing. The people did not look to maintain the Brahmanical norms, etc. So people were free. They were speaking whatever they felt. But at the time of Brahadevata, the later Vedic scholars means the Brahadevata, Karashwanka, etc. They are writing at a time when maintenance of Brahmanical norms was paramount rather than the real meaning of Rigveda. That's why the Brahadevata has given or Mahabharata has given such interpretation. Brahadevata is the 4th century BC Brahman's version of that female Rishi of Rigveda are supposed to say. This is also Brahadevata, her reference to Brahadevata. And Mahabharata is fashioning the female. When we come to Mahabharata, no more Lopamudra is participatory in the dialogue. So she is not open. So Mahabharata is fashioning the female into the change according to the changing times. So now till we have seen the Rigveda, what Rigveda says about Lopamudra and how the dialogue happens between the Lopamudra and Agastya, and also Brahadevata interpretation and Mahabharata interpretation. Nowhere this interpretation is available. No more this story is available except these 3 texts. So, according to these people, the Western translators and interpreters, Lopamudra was a very vocal women's rights activist, or who was an open negotiator for the Rati in the Rigveda. But where she ceases to be so in the Mahabharata, it is all because of the changing times and because of the Brahmanical writers who made all these stories suit them, to suit their changing times and changing demands of the time. So this is the interpretation of this Lawrie Patton and Jamison and all other people. So it amounts to this thing that Vedas were free earlier, but later others, they stitched these stories according to their own whims and fancies. They created their own narratives. So don't believe them. Believe in the Rigveda. So you are all ignorant people. You are only believing Mahabharata, etc., etc. It is the intention. The Rigvedic tale is re-narrated by the later Vedic scholars to suit their own tastes to the changing times where the male chauvinism was more apparent, whereas in the earlier Rigvedic time it was not powerful. But in the Mahabharata time it was very much powerful. It was no more male chauvinism was very much the patriarchy was very much present. So they wanted to change the stories and interpreted according to their own things. It is the intention in interpreting the story of Lopamudra and Agastya from Rigveda, Brahadevata to Mahabharata. So they wanted to portray Lopamudra as a negotiator for sexual favors, whereas Agastya was in the very much ascetical ideal. He wanted to continue his tapasya, but she resisted this kind of ascetical idea, and she wanted to have modern or something ordinary marital life. Let us see what these mantras really mean. Okay. Once more we see the mantras, then it will be clear. Purvirham Sharada Shashramana Dosha Vasto Rushaso Jarayanti Minati Shriyam Jarimatanuna Apyuna Patniha Vishnu Jagamyo. Aha, I am working for many years. Okay, Purviraham Sharada Shashramana, Purvihi Sharadaha. For many years I am working. I am very much tired. Minati Shriyam Jarimatanuna, my body is worn out. Very difficult. So what she is asking? So she is very much tired. That is okay. But what she is asking? She is asking, Apyonu Patnihi Vrishano Jagamyo. Is it possible that wives and husbands may go? Jagamyuh. Patnis and Vrushanas. Vrushanas means their husbands. They may go. Where they may go, it does not clearly mean both of them they should have the union, marital union. So Apyonu Patni, Patni is there, Vrishana is there, Jagamyu is there. But whereas um, in many other mantras of Rigveda, Jayev Patya Ushati Swasaha ityadi ityadi, many sentences we have very clear understanding of the sexual union, but whereas it is not very clear here. Only thing, is it possible that we wives and husbands may go? Where we may go, we'll see it. It will be clear when we see the next few mantras. It is the first mantra. The second mantra is she is worried about the results of ascetic ideals, whether it will be going to happen, whether we are going to get the results of ascetic ideals or not, that she is worried. So she says, even those earlier rishis who spoke with gods have given up. Avasuhu, they have given up and did not reach the end. Apyonu patnihi vrishabhihi jagamyahu. Then how patnihi vrishabhihi jagamyahu? Patniha vrishabhi with husbands, how can they go? Literally, it means only so. Apyonu patnihi vrishabhihi jagamyahu. Whether they can go together. Whether how wives can go with husbands. Vrishabhihi saha jagamyahu. So she is worried that even great sages, they could not get the result. How it is possible that wives are going to have this thing? So she is worried. Accordingly, Agastya is answering. Now, by the answer of Agastya, the question of Lopamudra will be clear. Agastya says, don't worry, because our efforts will not go waste. Nam Risha Shantam Yadavanti Devaha. Nam Risha Shantam Yadavanti Devaha. Our efforts, we have done labors for many years, but our efforts will not go waste. So Agastya's answer will be clear when we see later on. Now, what she is really asking: for many atoms, I have been laboring evening and morning through the aging dawns. It is what translation of Jamison. So, what she is really laboring, for which she is laboring, this is the one question that we have to answer. Agastya is a sage living in a hermitage in the forest and eating only kandamulas, whatever roots and the fruits that are available easily, or whatever the things that are available in the forest cultivated by them. So, what great sage like Agastya wants from his wife day and night, for which she claims to be laboring? Whether they are doing great yajnas? No, there is no such sign of yajnas, and they don't have children. Then with whom she is laboring? You don't know. Is she cultivating fields for Agastya to eat sumptuously? No, I don't think so. Is she preparing breakfast, lunch, and dinner with all the lavishness of a royalty? No. They are all living in the forest. So, if Lopamudra is really worried about the labor without any result, then there should be clarity about what labor she is doing. If she is really doing a labor which is erasing her beauty, what kind of labor she is doing? Because only two are there. Agastya is doing tapasya, and she is sitting calmly there besides Agastya. What kind of labor that she must be having, she must be doing there, we don't know. So this is one thing. And according to Sayanacharya, etc., this third mantra, the second mantra, Yechiddhi Puram Vratasapa Asam Sakam Devi Vratani Techid Avaso Nahyantamapo. It is Avaso is interpreted as injecting semen, but there is no clear word here. Techid Avaso, only they have given up. What they have given up, we don't know. Nahyantamapo, they did not reach the end. So makes all of them failing in their endeavors. This makes whole story without meaning. That means the tapasya that Agastya is going to do will be failure. And Lopamudra is not ignorant to marry a Rishi. She understands the essential life of Rishi doing tapasya there. Because when Agastya went to Vidarbha king to ask this Lopamudra in marriage, Vidarbha king was very much worried, but Lopamudra told, okay, I will marry this Rishi. So she is not ignorant of to marry a Rishi. So she understands the essential life, essential difficulty in that life. So she is not mentioning the labor of something else there. There must be something. So now Agastya says, Namurusha Shantam Vedamti Devaha Vishwa Ispado Abhyashnavava. According to Jamison, not in vain is the labor that God's help. Let us to take on all contenders. Let us to win here the contest of 100 stratagems. When as united couple we will drive on. So Agastya says, your labor will not go. What labor? Cleaning, washing, bearing children, or what? Or he is speaking about his own labor of tapasya. No, that is not the case according to the Jamison. So Agastya's answer itself will be in difficulty. What Lopamudra is asking and what Agastya is saying, answering. There is no relation between the question and answer, request and answer. And now we go to the next one. He is consoling Lopamudra that your labor does not go waste. Gods will grace you. Yadavanti Devaha. So, how gods will help if Lopamudra is laboring for the wifely activities, only doing all the mundane things. So it is also not answered in this narrative. And Agastya says, he is continuing that we will take on all contenders. Whose contenders? Is Agastya a king to take on rivals? He is living simply in a forest without any problem, without any contender or whatever the thing. He is doing tapasya there. And what contest these two are going to win? That is also very important thing. Or they have to undergo numerous medical tests or so many kinds and make a way for the procreation. What is the contest or what is the thing? That is also not understood here in the mantra. And what these two, Mithunu, are going to do. United couple we will try on. What united couple we will try on? What has this union of this couple has to do with the tapasya? And what this union has to do with this war also? This is all questions, they come in front of us. Now we go to the fourth mantra, where Nadasya Rudhata Kama Agan Ita Ajato Amata Kudaschit Lopamudra Vrishnam Nirinati Dhiramadhira Daiteshvasantam. Says the lust of mounting bull, waxing greed, penis has come to me. Lust arisen from here, from there, from everywhere. So it is all interpretation. But where is which word here means waxing greed? It is only kama, it says. It is not anything waxing greed or penis. It is not mentioned here in even a distant way. And lust arisen from here, from there, from everywhere. Lust may rise from here in front of from Lopamudra, but not certainly from there, not or elsewhere. Amata Kutashit. This is all something not understandable. So he says one kama has come, but what kama? From where? He says kama is coming from there, the above side, from elsewhere. He says it seems that he is mentioning something else. And Lopamudra Vrushanam Nirinati. What is Nirinati? Lopamudra is Nirinati. It is there. Then that we'll see. Lopamudra is encouraging the Agastya, it may mean. And according to Jamison, why this woman sucks him while he is snorting? Lopamudra Vrushnam Nirinati Dhiramadhira Dhaitish Vasantam. Why he is snorting? In rejection or what it is really, what it really means? Dhiramadhira Dhaitish Vasantam. Her interpretation of snorting, etc. Does not, it is not totally understandable. If you see again, Lopamudra, the second sentence, the second half of the mantra, Lopamudra Varshanam Nirinati Dhiramadhira Dhaita Shvasantam. Lopamudra makes the bullish one float. The steadfast man does the flighty woman suck while he is snorting. Why he is snorting, what he is snorting, it is not clear. And why she sucks him, that is also, I don't know. And there is Dhira and Adhira. Who is Dhira and who is Adhira? According to the Jamison, it is steadfast man. But what is the Dhira? What is Dhira? Tam Dhira sa kavayonavanti unnayanti. The Dhira is normally used in the sense of a great man of wisdom, not the physical fit people. So Dhira Madhira, it has no meaning here. These are all the problems that we encounter here. When we go to the 6th shloka, 5th shloka, there is no much problem. Agastya is digging with the spades. And why he is digging, what he is digging. Prajamapatyam, there is Praja and Apatya. So what is the difference between Praja and Apatya? Maybe offspring and the descendants, maybe sons, grandsons, great grandsons, unlimited way, that may be there. And Prajamapatyam Balamichano, what power he is speaking, what he is digging, or what power he is speaking. And Ubho Varno, she says, Jamison is interpreting the Ubho Varno, 2 colors, offspring and the ascetic powers, but they don't have different colors there. What are the different colors? Why offspring and different colors, the ascetic power, are called Varna? And Rishi Ugraha Puposha, why he is Ugraha? He is very much angry or ferocious or whatever you call. What he is nurturing? Now it is interpreted as throw by Jamison, but Ubho Varna, it means the Agastya is nurturing 2 Varnas, 2 colors, whatever the colors. It is not clear here. Is he nurturing the power of ascetic power, and that power is nurturing Agastya? What we don't know exactly. So this is one thing. Now to understand all these things, we have to go to the another interpretations. So these are the problems with the interpretations of the Jamison and all other people. Whereas in the case Narayanacharya's interpretation, in his Veda Samskriti Parichaya, he says Lopamudra shows the importance of procreation to Agastya. Both of them are speaking that Agastya is more worried about his tapasya, whereas Lopamudra shows the importance of procreation to Agastya. So their dialogue is happening, and in between the Agastya's Shishya, he hears this secret and makes it public to show the greatness of Maharishi. So this is the interpretation of S. Narayanacharya. But here the problem in this interpretation is Agastya has married Lopamudra only because he wanted to have the procreation. He does not need to be reminded of his duties. He knows it. And instead of interpreting in this way, it would be more reasonable to interpret this story to show that Agastya was observing celibacy, or he was observing the brahmacharya because he was waiting for the divine message from right moment for the procreation. So now he says, after Lopamudra persuades Agastya for this union, Agastya says now he has got the message from the above side. Kama agata amutaha kutaschita. Amutaha, from upside, Kama has come, so he started procreation. That can be one kind of interpretation. This is case Narayanacharya. So in order to remove all these confusions and the problems created by these interpretations, now we come to our interpretation. So Lopamudra is, from the very beginning, Lopamudra says, I am doing this for many years. What she is doing? She is doing great tapasya along with Agastya. Because of that, she is worried. The tapasya is not something very simply sitting on the sofa and seeing the TV or Facebook. It is a great thing that takes hours of samadhi, dhyana dharana, yama niyama, etc. So it is a both physical and mental strain. That's why she is doing that tapasya for many years. And now she is physically tired with no end, and she is worried that whether she is going to attain moksha or not. Even great rishis, they have not been able to achieve moksha. Then how it is possible that we women folk can attain it? So she is above the age of procreation, because she says, Minati Shriyam Jarimat Nuna, the I am in the old age, Jarima, that Jarima has descended on me. That means she is not in the age of procreation. She is above that age. That's why she says this Jara, old age, has erased my beauty. It means she is not asking for the marital union, but some other kind. Apyonu patnihi vrishnojagamyo. Oo. Api oo means kakuswara here. Can women attain such moksha that along with their husbands? That she is asking in the first mantra, and also in the second mantra. Because I have been doing this labor, tapasya, for many years. Purviraham Shraddha Shashramana. Shashramana means it means that I am doing tapasya for many years without any end. So whether I will be able to achieve moksha or not, this is the uh, request or question or the doubt that Lopamudra has for the Agastya. Now Agastya says, no, don't worry, our efforts will not go waste. Devas will help us. Our tapasya will not go waste and will continue. We will take on all our enemies. We'll win the 100 some wars. What are the 100 some wars? It is all our own ajnana, viparita jnana and samshayas, our own kama, krodha, madamoha, matsarya, etc. So it is a battle within us, a 100 stratagem battle between us, 100 some wars. So both we have to do it. When we do it together, we will be able to get over this war and we will attain the moksha. Says again and again, Jaya Vedatra Shatanitham Ajam. Both of us will win this war. At Samyancha Mithunu Abhyajava. We will um, achieve the thing. What they will achieve? They will achieve the moksha because Dampatya Sahadhikara, the couple have got the same rights over the rituals. Not husband, not wife alone can do any tapasya. Whatever they do, the result is shared by both of them and the efforts are also shared. So Agastya is answering Lopamudra's questions. No, don't worry, Devas will help. We will take on enemies and we will win over them and we will achieve our result. The result, real result that we want, moksha, that we will be able to achieve. We will be successful in our tapasya to see the Brahma Sakshatkara, whatever. So don't worry. And here, again, the kama means the desire of moksha. It is coming from opposite. Ita achata amutah kutashit. Amutah, it has come from upside. So I am trying, we are trying for the moksha, for the above thing, amutah, others. And Lopamudra Vrushanam Nirinati. Lopamudra Vrushanam Nirinati. She will accompany her husband. Dhira Madhira Dhaiti Shwasantam. She is little bit doubtful, but he is able to do his tapasya. He is forward looking. He is going forward and she will accompany him. So that is the right way of and easy way of interpreting. Lopamudra Vrushanam Nirinati. Lopamudra will accompany her husband, who is Dhira and she is Adhira. Dhayati Shvasantam. She will follow that man who is Shvasantam, who is having the Yamaniyama, Pranayama, etc. Shvasa. The same mantra is quoted in the Shatapada in the same meaning. Tadetadrucha abhyuktam namrusha shantam yadavanti devaha. The person who has got the knowledge will be saved, will be protected by gods. Na namrusha shantam yadavanti devaha iti. Naha evam nahiva evam vidushaha kinchana mrusha shantam bhavati. The person who has got the knowledge of these Vedas, his efforts will not go waste. Naha Nahaiva evam vidushaha kinchana mrusha shantam bhavati. Nothing will go waste of person who has got this knowledge. Tatho hasya eda sarvam devaha vante. all the devas will come and protect him. So if this is the request for sexual union, and Agastya's answer for that will have no context for the protection from devas. These people, they will have the union and they will get the procreation and they will go wherever they want. So this answer will be totally out of context. Nam rasha shantam yadavanti deva. So it should be understood in this manner. Kama is the desired thing, that is moksha here. It is not simply the desire of union. So the divine message of departure coming from divine, amutaha kutaschit, the divine message of departure, or maybe the divine message of the order of tapasya, so that has come. Adhira dhiram shvasantam dhayati. Dhayati means payeti. She will make me drink soma as an atonement before our final departure. That is also understandable. That is the reason next mantra speaks about soma. Imannu soma mantito hrasupedam upabruve. So this fifth mantra is also uttered by Agastya, not by the Shishya of Agastya. And last mantra, then we come to the Agastya, Khanamanaha Kanitraihi, Rajamabatyam Balamichamanaha. So what Agastya, what he is digging now? He is digging to destroy the Asuras. He is not digging with spades, seeking offspring. Why should he dig with spades for the offspring? If he wants to have offspring, he'll have sexual reunion with his wife, and he will be bestowed with plenty of children. And Khanamanaha Khanitrehi will be totally out of context. So this mantra means Agastya is showing his powers of destroying Asuras. He is digging the ocean, Khanamanaha Khanitrehi. And he is Prajamapatyam Balamichamanaha. That's why he destroyed Vatapi and Ilvala and helped humans to survive. He drank away the ocean to kill followers of Rutra. That is all there in the Mahabharata and all other Puranas. And so the Khanamana Kanitrehi should be understood in destroying the Asuras one way, or his Khanamana Kanitrehi is digging for the real water of eternity. He is digging for the real water of eternity, that is for Amritattva. He is digging, that can be understood. And his Prajamapatyam Balamichamana. Praja is Jnana. Why Praja is Jnana? Prakashtataya Jayate. Prakashtataya Abhivyaktaha Bhavati. Iti Praja. With the knowledge, person, he will have his real nature manifested. That's why this Praja is called, Brahmadhyana itself is called as Praja. Prajaya Prashvir Brahmavarachasena, such sentences in all the Vedas should be understood that way. Not to mean that all the Rishis were asking for so many animals, as animal husbandry, welfare ministry. That should not be the meaning. And now, Ubho Varno Rishi Rugrah Paposha. He is nurturing two Varnas. What are the two Varnas? Brahman and Kshatriya. And he is marrying a Kshatriya lady and helping both Varnas, and also by his helping humans and divines with his destructive power. He killed many Asuras, and that's why he is Ubho Varno. Both Varnas he is helping. It may be Kshatriya Brahmana, or it may be divine and human. It should be understood that way. So it is clear from this review that the request of this dialogue is not for the sexual union, but it is for the moksha. They are worried about moksha, and she is asking whether we will be able to achieve it. And Agastya is answering that no, certainly we will be doing it. So That's why Lopamudra is called a great Rishi, not because she is vociferously talking about marital union with her husband, but because of her other mantra. Namaste harase, shochishe namaste astorchishe, anyamste asmat tapantu hetayah pavakha aspabhyam shivo bhava. This in the Madhyandina Samhita. It occurs twice in the Madhyandina Samhita. This is one mantra there, and two mantras here in the Rigveda. She is showing a way of liberation to all other women. That is most important thing here. Not showing the way of asking for the marital union, but for the union with God, or where we are going to see God there. So that's why she is called a great Rishi, not because she is asking favors from her husband. She is also Brahmavadini and also great Pativrata. We see Pratimedhi cha Marga cha Sujata cha Mahatapa Lopamudra cha Dharmajna ya cha Kaushitiki Smrta Etascha Brahmavadinya Apsaro Rupsamata. They were all very beautiful, but they are all Brahmavadinis. That means they were fully engaged in the tapasya, says Brahmanda Purana, while counting the rishis. And also it may be Etascha Brahmavadinya Apsaro Rupam. There are many Apsaras are also rishis in the Rigveda. Brahmanda Purana is counting the rishis. And Padma Purana says, Lopamudra Mahabhaga Yachate Dharmacharani Yasyah Pativrata Dharmat Sarvam Bhavati Shobhanam. Because of her Pativratya, all your things will happen. It is addressing Agastya. Because of the power of Lopamudra, Agastya will be in great stature. That is, in that way, Agastya is addressed. So, Lopamudra is a great Brahmavadini, great Rishi, great Pativrata. Her story is narrated in the Rigveda. I don't want to interpret the Brahad Devata, which is followed by Sayanacharya and all other people, modern interpreters. We need not worry about the Brahad Devata. Brahad Devata is a guide to us, but we need not worry about how to interpret this Brahad Devata. But one thing we need to understand is the story of Mahabharata, where Agastya himself, he sees Lopamudra very beautiful, and he requests her to have a union, and they will get the son. That story refers to the young age of this Agastya and Lopamudra, not the older age, which is referred to in the Rigveda. So they married and they got son, and they again started their tapasya, and that tapasya is referred to in the Rigveda. That's why it should be understood in a right way. Of course, Agastya is also human, maybe Rishi, but he has taken the human form. He has desires, and Lopamudra has desire, and they had their union. It is all natural. I don't deny that they were all the way they were doing tapasya, but that stage is different. They had their marriage, they had their union, they had their son. That is, everything is over. Brahmanasya cha dehoyam kshudrakamaya neshyate. Brahmana's body is not for the ordinary things, ordinary marital bliss. Krachraya tapasya chaiva. It is for the great tapasya, pretya ananta sukhaya cha, and achieve the moksha at the end. That's why this Brahmana Deha is there. According to the Brahmana Deha, this Agastya and Lopamudra, they were doing tapasya in the same way Vasishtha and Arundhati. and Jamadagni and Renuka, so many other great rishis who are there. We have the great lineage of these great Brahmavadinis and Pativrata Stris, Ahalya, Draupadi, Sita, Tara, Mandodari, Tatha. Every day, Draupadi, etc., these are all great Pativrata Stris. They are all remembered each and every day by the whole of Bharatakhanda, Bharatavarasha. May not be the today's generation, but for the generations and generations, we are honoring them by taking their name every day. Ahalya, she was the wife of Gautama. Draupadi, Sita, Tara, Mandodari, Tatha, Panchakanya Smare Nityam, Mahapadaka Nashanam. So these are all the rishis. They had great tapasya. Because of their great tapasya, they got the revelation of mantras, they got the revelation of many knowledge, different knowledge of different shastras, and they gave us all these shastras and jnana. That's why Bharatavarsha was well ahead of all other nations because of the great tapasya and the research and development done by these rishis. Not simply they are all doing dilly-dallying with their wives always. That should be understood. In that way, Tyaga and Balidana are most important than Bhoga. It is the ideal of Indian people to adore Tyagis, not Bhogis. It is about Burgois and Samurai. Burgois are the city dwellers who simply live and they die simply. Whereas Samurais, they make sacrifice. It is the concept of Sri Aurobindo. That's why Arundhati va Subhaga Vasishtham Lopamudra va Yatha Agastyam. The Mahabharata refers to Lopamudra. Lopamudra followed Agastya into forest. Arundhati followed Vasishtha. See, again, Bhima praises Lopamudra to Draupadi. Lopamudra tatha bhiru vayorupa samanvita. Agastya manvayadhyatva kaman sarvan amanushan. She had at her disposal all the luxuries of life, but she simply left all these luxuries of life and she followed Agastya to forest. That's why Bhima is referring to Lopamudra when he is addressing Draupadi. Such is the character of our people, not sex-deprived vocal feminist, as represented by showcaused by the Julia Leslie, Lawrie Patton, Theime, Hillebrandt, Geldner, Sieg, Jamison, etc. But somehow, sometimes it is supported by our own commentators, Shaunika, Yaska, etc., etc. Our aim of understanding Veda is how it may mean more qualities, more virtues in these rishis. Gunadhikyam yena bhavet vedasya artha sayevahi. The meaning of Veda should be to enhance the quality of the persons, the deity, and all other devata or parabrahman, not to make doshadhikyam yena bhavet vedasya artha sayevahi. So there is a tendency, by this tendency, whatever said in the Veda, it will degrade these rishis and all other people. That should not be the way. Gunadhikyam yena bhavet vedasya artha sayevahi. That should be the way. We should be very much cautious when we interpret these Vedic sentences. We should interpret these Vedic sentences according to our own tradition. The Brahmanas, the Aranyakas, Mahabharata, Ramayana, and all the Puranas and Griha Sutras, Shrota Sutras, not simply sitting in a table and interpreting these stories according to our own whims and fancies. That should be avoided at all cost. It is my humble request to all of you. Now, still we worship Lopamudra. When the sun comes into Simha Rashi, Saurabhadrapada Masa, then Agastya Nakshatra will come. Then we give Arghya to the Agastya and also to his Lopamudra. The mantra is there in Agni Purana. Rajaputri namastubhyam munipatni mahavrate arghyam granhishva deveshi Lopamudra Yashaswini. Rajaputri, she was the daughter of Raja, but Munipatni Mahavrate, she did great tapasya. Her vrata was great. You are Lord of even Devas. Yashaswini, you had great fame. Please take our Arghya. When this Agastya Nakshatra rises in the, I don't know, I am not that much of well versed in the Jyotisha, but Agastya rises in Saurabhadrapada Masa, then Arghya should be given to both of them. Lopamudre Mahabhage Rajaputri Pativrate Grahanarghim Maya Dattam Maitravurni Vallabhe. This is the Arghya that should be given. So Saurabhadrapada is not too ahead of us. We are just 2 months behind Saurabhadrapada Masa. Now we are going to give our Arghya today to some great lady by reciting this shloka again. Rajaputri namastubhyam munipatni mahavrate arghyam granhishva deveshi lopamudre yashaswini. Krishnarpanamastu. So I hope you have understood what I spoke. And we can have discussions if anyone of you have any doubts or anything. But meanwhile, I will exit. I will stop the screen sharing. Okay. Any question?
Thank you, Acharya. If anybody has any questions, then please raise your hand, or I can you can unmute and you can speak. I will give the permission.
I am very much sorry that somehow the connection got lost in between, and but I hope there will not be interruption in recording, because the recording was done by Gautam Acharya. There should have not been any difficulty there. Okay. Nageshwara, any question? You have to unmute yourself. Gautam.
Acharya, I gave
Hello.
the permission to unmute.
Okay.
Sir, one thing I wanted to know, can you say more about this Bodhi cursor? Because we have not heard much, sir, actually.
About what?
About his, when he was there and his existence, because he has also commented on this particular mantra. You had showed one more scholar, sir.
Boparadikar.
Sorry,
Oh,
I'm extremely sorry. I
Madhusudan.
mispronounced, sir. Yeah.
I understand. Madhusudan Boparadikar has not commented on the Rigveda. His thesis is on the legends of Agastya.
Oh, okay, sir. Fine, sir. Fine.
So in that he has given his own interpretation, and he has collected the opinions of all Western scholars. How these people they thought he is there, and what they did not think and what they thought. Both of them are there.
Then it means this must be very recent past.
Maybe 60, 70 years. Or
Okay,
maybe Madhusudan Boparadikar is not very old man. Okay. The Legends of Lopamudra is a work carried out around 60s, somewhere. 60s.
Okay, sir. Fine.
So everybody must be happy today. So we can conclude now.
Definitely, sir. Definitely, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So already I had given a lecture there, but I wanted to record this properly, where people can see the mantra and they should understand it clearly, how it should be understood and what are the real mantra and how it should be understood. Okay. Now we'll conclude this
Thank you,
session with Gautam. Anything you have to say?
Nothing, Acharya.
Thank
Thank
you,
you so
sir.
much for the lecture,
But
Acharya, and thank you all for the participating.
in the same way, I will give one more lecture on the Urvashi Pruro Samvada. That is
Oh, very
also
nice,
there.
sir.
You should understand. That is also very beautiful story and very intriguing. It is more difficult to interpret than this Lopamudra and Agastya. And Yama Yami Samvada. So there are so many things are there. We'll do it.
Okay.
Certainly, sir. We
Sir.
would.
An exciting and spiritual experience giving talk by Professor Pandurangi. Very much matching with his status as the present day commentator on Rigveda. After Sayanacharya, the most recent traditional commentary I think is coming from him only. All the other commentaries are some kind of modern commentaries only. But what we have to remember also is that before these Westerner interpretations of our Veda mantras, during the modern period, Arya Samaj founder Swami Dayananda Saraswati attempted his own way of interpreting Veda mantras. And the Sri Aurobindo also tried in his own way, a little inspired by Swami Dayananda Saraswati of Arya Samaj. And also, both of them were inspired by sciences, modern sciences. Actually, they were trying to put modern sciences into Vedas. And there is a book by one Narayana Iyer called Indo-Aryan Mythology and Interpretation. He gives astronomical interpretations to all these mantras, including this particular dialogue hymn of Agastya and Lopamudra. In the second volume of his Indo-Aryan mythology, he takes up the Agastya Lopamudra also in an astronomical way. But instead of digressing into all such science, astronomy, and all that, Professor Pandurangi, well within the traditional framework, was able to connect the different parts of mantra themselves to connect the mantra properly with the perspective of moksha and they as moksha sadhakas. Actually, this third mantra, in the third mantra, the word Shrantam is already getting connected with the word Shashramana in the first mantra. Actually, what is Shrantam there, Agastya is already indicating. What is the Shrama in the first mantra, Agastya is already indicating there is no necessity to go to breakfast and other household work and all the shrama, all the labor. He is talking very clearly. He is saying, Namrusha Shrantam Yadavanti. It is actually because she is regretting, she is repenting that all this work, labor work is, all my hard work is going waste. He is saying, Namrusha, that is all our work in the form of tapasya. Is very clearly saying it is the work of tapasya only. So actually, in English literary criticism also, there was a movement called New Criticism, and they were taking the text itself as a guide. The different parts of the text themselves, if you connect them properly, they will guide you to arrive at the meaning. So that way, other parts of the text are already guiding us, and for us for that meaning to flash, we need Bhagavad Anugraha and Guru Anugraha also. Then only such meanings occur to us. I think the other Brihad Devata and Sayana Bhashya and other meanings also are not contradicting this meaning. If we properly take that meaning also from this point of view, they will properly connect with each other. I think the only purely worldly meaning that they get, and funny, hilarious claim by all these Western Indologist interpretations is that they tell us that we are closer to the Rishi than Yaska and all other Brahmana rishis and all these people. They say because for them Brahmanas are some 1,000 years away from the mantra darshana time. So they say, oh, okay, so you are closer to 21st century Indologist is closer to the Rigveda Rishi than the Brahmana Rishi. It's a hilarious claim, very funny claim. And they say that we have got the Rishi, we understood the Rishi properly. For you to understand the Rishi properly, you need a traditional brought up like that of Professor Pandurangi. Like that of Professor Pandurangi, you need so much of background in all the different Shastras like Mimamsa, Vedanta, and all that. And also, very similar to Professor Pandurangi, you must have a Guru Anugraha and Bhagavad Anugraha also. That is why, because he has got that Anugraha fully, he was able to bring out the correct meaning of the mantra from a very traditional point of view, not deviating from the proper tradition of the rishis themselves. So we can say that he is closer to the rishi than all these people who are superficially trying to understand. So thank you very much, sir, for bringing out that meaning. And there were attempts to create symbolism meanings to all these words. They tried etymological meanings for both the words Lopamudra and Agastya. And using etymology, they were trying to give some symbolist other meanings also. All these attempts were made only to get over these misinterpretations. They were also, Dayanand Saraswati, Arvindo, and others also were completely disillusioned by these awkward interpretations. So their solution was to take recourse to science or symbolism or something like that. Instead of going all to all those places, Professor Pandurangi did it successfully by taking the moksha meaning. Wonderful, sir. Thank you very much.